Matthew Swinnerton here from Event Santa Cruz, and I'm here with Rebecca Haley Clark. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Good. Thank you for meeting with me. So you are from Santa Cruz Shakespeare. We are currently where?
We are here at the Veterans Memorial Building in downtown Santa Cruz, where we're going to be hosting our after-school classes that we're launching this month in April.
Awesome. Okay, so that is the main point of why we're having this interview, but let's step back a little further. I want to know about you. Like, where are you from? Are you from here?
I am from Santa Cruz. I went to Galt Elementary, Bransford Middle School, Santa Cruz High, shout out Cardinals, what's up? And I had my first taste of Shakespeare actually at Galt Elementary as part of Nancy Street's Much Ado Shakespeare Company. They put a performance of the Scottish play. I can't say the name because we're in the theater space. But it really changed my life, and now I feel, it's such a full circle moment, being able to come back to the community that I grew up in to start these after school opportunities for other students in Santa Cruz.
Okay, so we talked about this earlier. In 2021 is when you joined Santa Cruz Shakespeare. And has your role always been in the educational department?
Yes, yeah, with Santa Cruz Shakespeare. So I started as the education programs manager, mostly focusing on our student matinee programs and our internships, now our apprenticeship program. And then I became the director of education last year. Have been really working on expanding our in-school workshops, reigniting our touring performances. We're doing A Midsummer Night's Dream right now, and these bite-sized pieces in a program called Shakes on the Move, and then offering these after-school opportunities. We've got acting, improv, poetry and playwriting, bilingual storytelling intensive, and we're bringing back our summer intensive where we'll be working on Midsummer as well.
Okay, this is terrible because I feel like I did not prep you for this interview at all. But I want to throw in a question, like, what is, in your role with Santa Cruz Shakespeare, what is like the most like fulfilling, exciting part about what you do?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's seeing the students grow, and when they come to the Grove, how excited they are to see the performances and really bring it to life. They're the lifeblood of like the future of theater. I really believe that, and they're just so excited, especially post-pandemic or wherever we are in the pandemic, getting back together and be able to commune in these community-focused spaces. So even if they don't, go on to be actors or directors, I hope we are cultivating a love for live performance with them. And so I love being able to talk with them about their most exciting moments, and that, yeah, really fulfills me.
I think that's so cool because it is like, if you don't reach out to young ones, to like, whether really young teenagers, and let them, show them the experiences of Shakespeare and the theater, they're not going to know. And so they're not, I like that you're growing this, so, it kind of gives life to, Santa Cruz Shakespeare for years to come.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. And I think, that's how it started with me. And like, I always say that Shakespeare was never scary to me. And we also don't, try to make it anything that it's not. I always get to talk with the students sometimes, especially before we have our student matinees, and maybe they're not as excited about Shakespeare, but then I get to tell them a little bit of the story. This has fighting in it, this has witches in it, this has swords, this has, girls fighting over boys, boys fighting over girls, and whatever, and people cross-dressing and whatnot. And then you can see the light in their eyes go, really? That's not what I thought Shakespeare was. So it's like, yeah, this thing has been around for over 400 years, and I think it's here to stay because of that excitement that they have for it.
It's funny that you say that because I think not just for kids in school, but adults, I think Santa Cruz Shakespeare has really like made Shakespeare accessible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it has like a modern, I feel like even just in the last like even 5 years, it just seems like even more so. It's just like, it makes it very accessible to anybody. And so like, really, these are amazing stories. These are interesting. And it's not just these hard, like, I don't understand what they're saying. These are really, compelling things to watch and to experience while you're there.
Yeah, I always tell my students, that Shakespeare loved to riff on these old stories, and like, the reason sometimes why it's a little difficult to understand is because it's poetry, not because it's Old English, not because he's trying to confuse you. It's just like an elevated form, quite similar to modern day hip hop or rap music, wordplay and those sort of things. And the story is the foundation, but then what he does with it, what he infuses into it, is all unique. And I think that gives them a little bit of ownership over Shakespeare, that they feel like, oh, like we're at the same level. We could do something that is that cool. And like for adults as well, you know, these stories are pretty timeless, I think. And the reason it sounds so modern to us when you come to see Santa Cruz Shakespeare is because I think, you know, we're pretty good at it, and we spend the time to really get into the text. So our actors, our interpreters really understand what they're saying, and that's why you understand what they're saying, because nothing is worse than bad Shakespeare where nobody understands what anybody else is saying. But like, I was lucky enough to go to the performance with the symphony, the symphonic Shakespeare, our collaboration with them, and everyone was saying, one of our actors, Allie Pratt, playing Juliet, it just sounded like a young woman in love, and it's like, that's what the story is.
Nice. Boy, I love nothing's worse than bad Shakespeare.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Which we don't give to you at Santa Cruz Shakespeare.
That will not be the title of this video. No, for sure. Okay, so I want to talk about these classes.
Yeah.
So tell us about these classes. It's not just one. I think you have like 4+ different classes. Can you give us a little bit of insight on what these are?
Yeah, so we've got improv, acting for middle school students, poetry and playwriting during April, you know, which is National Poetry Month. A bilingual storytelling intensive for high schoolers, and those are our spring classes. Some of these are also offered in Watsonville as well, so not just here in Santa Cruz at the Veterans Memorial Building. And then we also have our summer intensive, both for middle school and high school students, where they spend time doing master classes with members of our professional company before doing a live performance at the Grove, our stage. So they get to be a part of an abridged form of Midsummer and then see the professional performance of Midsummer. And then we're also coming to you with fall classes as well, with an exciting lineup, including mime and movement, audition techniques, working on the Scottish play, and Shakespeare and hip hop as well.
Who runs these, or who's leading these classes? I mean, there's teaching the classes.
Yeah, so we have a group of teaching artists, locals that you may have worked with, some of the students previously at other programs and whatnot, who have a real interest in education and also the artistic side that they're able to combine. That's how I found my way into Santa Cruz Shakespeare. I was really interested in the education of theater, but also and as a practitioner myself, as a director, what kind of skills that we can bring that are really like practical as well to these growing and developing artists.
So if somebody wants to get involved, if they want their child to get involved, like where do they go? How do they engage?
Absolutely. You can go to our website, santacruzshakespeare.org, and click on the education tab, and they'll have all our classes listed. And there you can fill out an interest form about which classes you'd like to sign up for there. And you can always email me at education@santacruzshakespeare.org if you have any other questions.
Nice. Thank you so much. And thank you for being such a good sport. I feel like this was definitely an interview that we didn't do any prep for. I just put you down in the chair and like, let's start talking. So
yeah, no, I love talking about the educational work that we're doing in the community. It's really exciting to me. And I hope we're, you know, creating a whole generation of Shakespeareans.
We too.